guys, and welcome to my channel and happy Beauty Tuesday. So this week for Beauty Tuesday, I'm going to give you a makeup look using the Boxycharm September box that I unboxed for you last week. So to start off this makeup look for primer, we are going to use the Glassy Skin Balm from Touch and Soul. And guys, don't worry, I'll link all the products I use in this video in the description of the box. So you'll be able to find them and purchase them yourself if you would like to have them. So we're going to use the Glassy Skin Balm because today we need some moisture. And I haven't used this primer in a while, so I am going to just put some on my finger, like that much, and place it on my forehead, rub it in. Try to do this in circular motions. Forehead, and then I dip in again. To put some on my cheek. Okay, now we're just gonna let that set for a second to get into the skin. But if you do not want to wait the second, I have my little trusty fan that'll help dry this down a little bit. Let's test this out. My face is tacky the way I want it to be. So now we're just going to get into concealer. Today for concealer, y'all know I usually just wear concealer sometimes. No foundation today. We're going to use the Born This Way Multi Sculpting Concealer. With this concealer, you can conceal, contour, highlight, and retouch. And we have this in the shade Sand. So I'm just going to put this, see, we just got a little bit. I'm going to put it under the eye on both sides. And we're going to put dab on the forehead here, and we're barely dipping into this thing. And we're going to cover some spots on the chin and cheeks, just dot it around. I really love this concealer because it's a multi-purpose, and I love when one item can do a bunch of things. So now we're just going to buff and blend. But today you usually see me blend with a brush, something like this. You heard my makeup brushes fall on the floor if you're wondering what that sound was. I usually would blend with a brush, but today, since in our Boxycharm, if you haven't seen that unboxing, I will leave it up in the card somewhere. We're going to use this charcoal sponge from $1 Billion Beauty. See, I have the little Boxycharm card so I remember which ones actually came in this month's box. And if you don't know what this month's theme is, it's Only Glam Vibes. Glam Only Vibes. So we're just going to use the sponge. It's already dampened for me. And I'm going to take the mirror from this contour palette from Ace Beauty to buff and blend in this concealer. Now that our concealer is blended in and guys, I think I might be off the brush because this was so easy, and the only grip I was worried about it because I usually drop things because my hands get rid of lot, but this sponge would be hard to hold and keep the grip up. But so if any of you like have hand problems like I do, because this sponge is easy to hold and you can just, like how I've been bouncing it on my face, across my face, to blend everything in, and I love the way it looks. This sponge is great and it's charcoal infused, so it makes it even easier to blend. Now, for primer for the eyes, we don't have a specific eye primer, but we have enough concealer that I'm just going to use the leftover concealer on this sponge to use as a primer for my eyes. So I'm just going to take this really quick and dot this across my eyelid to get some concealer on it. This time you're just going to do some wiper motions, then pat in on the eyelid. And to set this concealer, because I used a lot more than what I usually do and I do not want to crease in any way, form, or fashion today, we're actually going to use setting powder. So what I'm going to do, I have a setting powder. This is the coconut setting powder from, here's what it looks like. Here's the coconut setting powder from KATE London. This is the Everyday Vacay powder. So what I'm going to do is to gently, ooh, you saw the powder come out. Take some of this powder and put it in the top. Like, just put a little bit in the top to put on the butt of the sponge. The butt of the sponge is the bottom where my fingers bouncing. And I'm just going to dip that in to cover the bottom so it turns white. And we're going to bring this mirror back. Sometimes this can be hard to do two-handed, but let me open the mirror to do this. And we're going to put the powder everywhere where we put concealer except for the eyes. I'm going to set the eye concealer with eyeshadow. So on my chin, we're just going to take this powder on my chin, and then we're just going to tap it in on my face and under my eye. I'm not going to bake with this because it's going to set really quickly with powder. And if you are allergic to coconut, this is not, unfortunately, the powder for you. It smells amazing though, like if I'm being honest. So I'm just tapping this into places where I know I had concealer to make it set. Oh my gosh, I love the smell of coconut in the summer. So I'm gonna be sad when fall comes, to be honest, because I'm gonna miss everything that smells like coconut, and I love coconut water too. I like the taste of that better than regular water. So we are all set to go with our powder. Guys, I might be switching to a sponge from now on to do my makeup instead of a brush, because this is making my life 10 times easier. I see why people like the sponge. I'm just making sure we got everything. Alright, so we are good with powder. So let me just... So the extra powder that I have left in this top, see there's a little bit left in the top. I'm just going to shake it back in the bottom of the container, because you don't want to waste powder if you don't have to. And powder is not something I wear every day. It's usually when I use a heavier concealer like the Born This Way concealer. I have to set that one so it doesn't crease, but the other concealers you've seen me use in the past, I usually just don't set that because it doesn't crease, but this I used a little bit more, so we're just going to put the top back on the powder. And guys, this powder can get messy, just a warning. It does have the sifter, but for some reason my sifter did not work for me. But it does have a sifter. So what I am going to do, you guys heard my brushes fall on the floor. So we're going to get onto the eyeshadow. But first I have to pick the brushes up off the floor. So I'll be right back. So I'm back. I got the brushes off the floor. And today we're going to use the Muda Pro brushes in the 5-piece deluxe eye kit. We're going to use these brushes today because these are the brushes I have clean. Otherwise, I would be using my brushes from Skinny London, the marble set that you guys seen me use a while back, but they're not clean right now. But Muda, I also love their brushes, and on the back of the package, it even tells you what the brushes are used for, and they're numbered on them. So if you're wondering where's your crease brush, where's your smudger brush, this one tells you. So as you can see, we have a crease brush, a smudger brush, an eyeliner brush, and a shader brush, and a detailed brush. So the palette I'm going to be using today is the Hipdot palette from the Hipdot palette. This is the Zion Press Pigment palette, and this palette is based off of the cannons that you will see in Utah. So we have a lot of reds and purples. Let me open it up for you. So you can see we get 15 shades. And what I'm going to be focusing on today is I'm going to be using the purples. So let me swatch some of the purples for you. There's one. Here's another one. And we're going to test out one more. And there's a darker purple. So I've just showed you 3 purples, and these are so smooth, so soft, and a little bit creamy. They're not powdery, so if you want to see what they look like on my fingers, that's what they look like. I showed you Sublime, Wild River and Surreal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this crease brush and we're going to, I need to set these eyelids of mine. So for a transition shade, I'm going to use the shade here, which is Maze, because it's closer to my skin tone and I want to set my eyelids. So I'm going to take this crease brush right now. There is kick up in the pan. Hopefully you guys can see that, which you usually get with pressed pigments. So if you're worried about fallout, just tap off your brush on the side to get it off. Like I just did. I just tapped it on the side of the table to get rid of that. So I'm just going to wipe this all over. Ooh, powdery. Didn't knock off enough. So I'm going to take this May shade and put that all over my lid just to set my whole eye. And then we're going to deepen the crease a little bit after I do that. So we're just going to take this and do windshield wiper motions across my eye to get this on my eye. Guys, these middle brushes are so soft. I've had these brushes for a very long time now, and I haven't used them in a while because I've mostly been using my Skinny London brushes. But I like these two. I like these ones because they're a little fatter than my Skinny London ones. But as I'm just taking this, making sure this is on my eye. Okay, so now that we have that in the crease, I'm going to try and stay with the purple theme, but to veer off from the purple, we're going to take this shade right here, the second shade in this last row going down. Wonderlust, it's more like a pinkish red. I need that in my crease to deepen my crease just a tiny bit. So I'm going to take that. All of these ones have cake up so far. Cake up, however you like to say it. So I'm going to take that. But this one I only want in my crease. So we're going to try to keep that stamped in the crease. So I'm just taking that and stamping that in the crease. I'm done with the windshield wiper motions just for a second to stamp this one across my crease. And it doesn't hurt my eye because it looks like I'm stamping very hard. But honestly, not stamping as hard as it looks to get it over in the crease. So now you can see my crease is a lot deeper, and that's the way we want it. We could get a little more in the crease by using this bottom shade called Mystery. So I'm also going to use that, and I know it's pink and you're like, Jasmine, where's the purple? But I'm really trying to define my crease so when I add the purple it'll stand out. So we're just going to take the Mystery shade, this one right here, where my finger is, and we're going to stamp that also in the higher part of my crease using that same crease brush. And you're like, Jasmine, I don't see no purple. I only see pink on your eye. But we're stamping this one higher, mostly on the outer corner too. I am trying like, that looks crazy, but it'll look so much better. So we're just bringing this one over here on the outer corner to make it look like something. I wanted my outer corners to be blown out a little bit, so that's why I'm bringing it so far over, because I want only this mystery color to be on the outer corner. And you're probably like, do you really want it like that? Yes, I do. So, as you can see, I'm taking this on the outer corner. I want it stamped right here. As you can see, I'm just stamping it in. Alright, so now that we have enough pigment on the outer corner, and it's blown out as much as I want it to be right now, we are going to, now we're going to add the purple. I'm going to switch brushes to, like I said, I haven't used these brushes in a long time. Let's see what number this is. This is the shader brush. Now, this is where the purple is going to come in. I am going to take the Wild River, which is this purple shade here. Right here, it's called Wild River. It's like a lavender shade. I'm going to take that. And what is up with all this cake up in this pan? Like I'm usually not one for fallout, but every time I touch it, even the lightest taps, I'm like, goodness, so much comes up. But that doesn't usually stop me from doing what I want, so I'm going to check in the mirror to see how that's looking. Okay, so now that I have my crease done and it blown out on my eye on this side, I'm going to take this Wild River color and put this on my eyelid. I'm going to wipe this across my eyelid, and it's getting on my eyelashes, but it's okay. Not taking it up in the crease. Not taking it up in the crease. We're just keeping the purple on the eyelid. We're leaving the crease with the pinks. And the reds, guys, I'm really loving this palette. I just wish there wasn't so much fallout in this pan. So we're just going to keep building that up. Now, building. Keeping this closer to the right side. But with that windshield wiper, you're like, are you even touching your eye? Yes, I am. With that windshield wiper, I'm trying to give you guys something different, because to me this is not an everyday look for me, but we try to have fun with makeup. So we took Wild River to get that on the eye. And now, I'm over here in a struggle. There are two purples I want to use. I want to use this purple here, and that one's called Sublime, and it's dark. And I want to use this color over here, and it's called Surreal. So I'm debating between those two colors, and I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to use Surreal on the lid and then maybe smoke out the bottom with Sublime. How about that? So I am going to take Surreal, dipping it in the brush, getting a nice coat, using the same brush I've been using. I try to not use many eyeshadow palettes to make my life a lot easier. And what I'm going to do, where my inner corner is, I'm going to try to keep Surreal closer to my inner corner. We're going to try to keep it on the closer side to my inner corner, which I didn't realize how hard that would be. And this is where my finger comes in handy because it's not coming off the brush. So I'm going to use my finger to get Surreal in my inner corner. And guys, it's okay to use your finger when it comes to makeup. Sometimes you got to do what's easier to apply. So I'm just going to tap my finger a couple of times in Surreal. And see, here's what Surreal looks like on my finger. And keeping that close. What I'm going to do, unfortunately, is still not coming up on my finger. This is where setting spray comes in. I'm going to spray my finger with some setting spray. I'm just using the Iconic London setting spray. And I'm going to tap my finger in there with the setting spray on it to tap that on my eye. Alright. So now that we have Surreal going on my inner corner, there's one more thing I want to do. I thought I was going to use Sublime on my lower lash line, but I changed my mind. I am going to take some concealer, and dab it on the center of my crease, and then put Sublime on the center to give it a real pop, and it's gonna look so cute. I'm really feeling in a purple mood. Like, I haven't played with purple eyeshadows in so long. I didn't even have like any purples or reds in my collection. I have a more corally set, so we're just gonna take some of this concealer. Might have to dip it in a little bit to get it out. So we're just gonna take the doe foot. If you don't know what the doe foot is, I'm actually talking about the applicator. I'm going to stick this concealer where I want it to be, trying to keep it in one spot, not to mess it up. And that's all the concealer I'm going to use. You don't need a lot for the application I'm trying to do. So I'm just going to close this up, and this one dries a little bit quick, so I'm going to take my finger, dip it in Sublime, which is this color down here. Tap, 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 tap it in. And where I have the concealer, I'm just going to try and tap that color in, and it looks like the concealer is still a little too wet, so we're gonna let it dry, and I'm gonna take this brush, just a clean brush, and rub my finger across it to make sure I get the concealer that was on my finger off. So what I'm going to do now is try this again to make it stick. And we're going to tap, 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 tap. And it's finally coming off now that the concealer's dried a little bit. Sometimes if the concealer's a little too wet, it won't work correctly. And we're just gonna try it with the brush as well. And it works now. So I have that covering the concealer as much as possible to lighten that part of my eye. It makes it look a little bit lighter than what it was before, and we're good to go. Now what I'm going to do is do the left eye off camera, and I'll be right back. So guys, I finished the other eye off camera, and we only have a couple of more steps before this makeup tutorial is finished, or makeup look I should say. Next thing I'm going to do is use this Ace Beauté Paradise Bronzer palette to add some definition to my face. This has 4 shades. And today I'm going to use the second shade because I don't want it to be too deep. So I'm going to use the second shade in the palette. Honestly, these shades don't have names, so I can't tell you what the name of it is. I just know it's the second shade. So I'm going to take this complexion brush from Alamar Cosmetics, dip it in, and it's just going to allow me to warm up my face a little bit, right around the cheeks. And the forehead is what I use this for. I just start close up by my ear and go down a little bit to sculpt a little bit. And then I do the same thing. So that's it for the bronzer palette. And our next product from this month's Boxycharm that we're going to use is this mascara. This mascara is from Laura Geller. This is their Lashboss Bold Mascara in the shade Black. This mascara is $24. So I'm just going to use this on my top lashes. I don't put mascara on my bottom lashes for the purpose of my eyes water a lot, and mascara affects that when it's on my bottom lashes. So this wand is very precise, and this mascara claims to give you length and definition. So we're gonna see. So I'm just gonna use the mirror to look in, because I have to, like, for me to do my mascara, this is probably a lot easier for some people, but I have to tilt my head and then look down at the mirror. So I just tilt back a little bit, and sometimes it's a lot easier if I set my chair back a little bit, but I want to still be in frame, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to coat my lashes, and I don't bring it all the way up just to keep it close together. And coat the end. Lately, my lashes have been a little sparse, so let me get a little closer so you guys can see. I can tell the difference. I hope the camera is picking it up. So this eye has mascara on it compared to this eye. You can see my lashes, but you can see on this eye they're a lot more separated. So I'm just going to do the other eye the same way. This is how I do it. I tilt and push the brushes up against my eye, not poking myself in the eye. And I have to do this all the way across in slow steps because I'm attempting not to open myself in the eye. So if I close my eyes, you can see that my eyelashes have a lot more length to them. My eyelashes are already pretty long, so this mascara just made them a little bit longer and separated them. So what I'm going to do now, all we have is lips left, but I am going to use a lip liner on my lips today. I'm not going to go like full red. I'm going to use this nude because our red is more of a mauve. So this lip pencil is from Jared Cosmetics. It's in the shade Ecstasy. So let's see. It's like a mauve color. Like if I get closer to the camera, you can see the mauve color right there. I just rubbed it right there. And our last Boxycharm product is our lip product. And our lip product is from Hank and Henry. It's their Lip Love Luxe lipstick. And they get an A+ for packaging, because look at this packaging. You probably wouldn't even know this was a lipstick if I didn't just say anything. But you're like, how do I open it? There's a button here that you press at the top. You click it and it pushes out the lipstick at the other end. And this is a red and it has sparkles. And why does it have sparkles? Let's see what the card says. This lipstick is a luxurious lipstick decorated with beautiful shimmer that coats and dissolves as you apply and gives In a stunning ruby red container, the formula leaves a smooth and creamy satin finish. So if you're looking for a satin lipstick, this is the one for you. So let's just... So here's the lipstick. You don't even see the sparkles. They melted away. I love this lipstick. And it seems like Boxycharm wants me to get into reds because the last couple of months they've been sending me red lips. But I'm feeling it. So all we're going to do for this last step is set this with the Iconic Blending Setting Spray, and remember, this setting spray has a little bit of sparkle if you shake it, but I don't want sparkle today, so I'm just going to use it without shaking the bottle. And here we go. That was refreshing. And to dry this lovely setting spray, I have my fan. I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup look using September's Boxycharm box. And I hope you enjoyed this Beauty Tuesday. Remember, I am always thinking of you, sending you love, sending you prayers. Bye.